the bigger problem I'd have with Eric Ten Hag than the other managers is that when you had sort of Jose and Louis van Gaal, they still played their way, but the supporters didn't like it. It wasn't Manchester United's way. Ollie came in, obviously wasn't a top-level manager. This guy's coming from Ajax, and because of that football club, you'd automatically associate that with playing a certain style of football. You can see those repeated patterns throughout a game. That's the bigger worry for me, because of Eric Ten Hag and what his past has been, that the performances are as bad as they are. I mean, it's really shocking when you sort of see them trying to build up from the back, play through midfield, and you see the other top teams do that. They're a million miles away from it.
There was a time a few years ago where I thought, to be fair, there were some pretty poor characters in the dressing room that were here for basically the paycheck and just using the club. I don't think we've got that in this changing room at all, to be honest with you, at Manchester United. The sad thing is about this group is I think actually probably they're really good lads who want to do well. But when I see videos of McTominay like on social media about 4 or 5 weeks ago and fans are accusing him of not running back, that's just the weight of the world on his shoulders. That's not a lack of effort. I know you disagree with me on this, Roy. But honestly, when you are in a sort of a heavy-legged world, the world's on your shoulders, the pressure of the club and the scale of it, that's what I think these players are suffering from, not through any lack of effort or desire.
That's part of the package, Gary. That's part of the package. Listen, we got stick when we played for Man United. Your memory plays tricks in you. We used to get stick and we were winning stuff. So that's part of the package of playing for Man United. That courage, that bravery, wanting the ball when you don't want it. I didn't see that. I'm not saying these are a bad group of players, but don't go down the road. They're all great lads either. You love that one as well. Everyone's a great lad. But what we saw today in the second half, we're talking about even when United were getting pulled all over the place. I'm still looking for 1 or 2 senior players to start pulling people back in. Maguire at the back, Johnny Evans, the 2 centre-halves, for example, 2 experienced players, played hundreds and hundreds of games, experienced international players. So when United were getting run ragged, even for the second, just sit in. I don't understand that bit where you just go and get lads in and go, listen, for the next 5-10 minutes, we need to sit in. United they sat in pretty well in the first half, where they were pretty solid. OK, they weren't really a threat going forward. But where's that experience from these so-called characters of these experienced players?
He sat in the first half, and it looks like Eric Ten Hag's gone in at half-time and thought the way forward in this match was to be more attacking and go for it a little bit.
Well, he gambled too early.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody in the stadium thought that was the right thing to do. The thing to do was to stay in the game at 1-0, probably with 15 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, and then maybe have a little pop at them like they did last year. They scored in the 78th minute last year, in the 82nd minute. So I think, for me, he went too early, opened his midfield up and then got exposed. And at half-time, when I saw that substitution, I thought, is he injured, Amrabat? I'm sort of like, he must be injured because he can't have come off. He wasn't brilliant first half, don't get me wrong, but him in there potentially alongside McTominay, with maybe Bruno coming off the wing into the midfield, that would have been still as solid, and I thought we still would have been okay. But as soon as McTominay went in there alongside Eriksen, I just thought it just looked, and McTominay then started having to get the ball off his back 4, which he's already been told he's not good enough to do that because Eric Ten Hag wanted rid of him in the summer. Where McTominay has got some freedom in the last few weeks is that he just left him up front, being almost like a centre forward, and going running into the box, and he's done all right.
But a lot of times we've said recently, but United, and not just against Man City, sit in and play on the counter-attack. It's as if Man United they're so far behind the other teams, they're happy just to sit in. Yeah. But you still expect more from Manchester United. It is Man City. Man City are a brilliant team, another level up, but you're still Man United. You still have to stick your chest out and go, listen, we'll try and take you on one way or the other. Instead, they just got weaker and weaker. Again, the big worry for me today is physically, United look so off it, particularly second half. And I know we've had many conversations, when you're up against Man City, they do tire out and they pull you left and right, but that's where you have your experienced players say, let's sit in, let's be solid for the next few minutes, and yeah, we can have a go at them. But when we do get it, we talk about the great players at Man United, show that courage when you're in possession, instead of giving away cheaply. We talk about the captaincy again today, even Rashford, body language from a player from Man United at home in a derby game.
That back 4 that started today, I think, was... I mean, Dalot was brought in by Jose Mourinho, was he not? Was he?
Yeah.
I mean, Lindelof was brought in by Jose Mourinho, wasn't he?
Well, this is the issue.
But they've all been brought in by somebody.
But what I mean is, that's not about...
They're brought in by different managers.
None of those
players.
We're still watching the same players that we've actually already previously, 3 years ago, like Martial up front. We're still watching the same players that 4 years ago we thought weren't good enough then. We're still watching them play.
But also, I want to get back to Eric Ten Hag. That's also his job as a manager. People always talk about your signings. I get that. Who's he actually improved who was already here? No, he's right. When you come into a club, you know, there's going to be different players signed by different people. A manager's job is to come in and improve a lot of those players.
Yeah, just have a sip of water and take a moment. Don't throw it at
Look
yourself.
It's not water.
But look, Gary makes the point about Ten Hag is that changing him wouldn't necessarily fix what's wrong at Man United. Would you be in agreement with that?
70-odd games as a manager? Yeah. No, I'll argue all day about. I'll obviously try and defend managers. He's got to be given more time.
Definitely.
It's like we're defending Ollie again here, isn't it? 75 games. But the problem is for the managers, I think he still wouldn't have a clue what his best starting team is. OK, he's got injuries, but I'd say his head is spinning with the problems he got at Man United. Where do you start? Where do you finish? From the goalkeeper to the Maguire situation. Johnny Evans is playing tonight. They don't score enough goals. Defensively, physically, they look all over the place. Oh, he'll be having a sleepless night tonight.